going on, Philadelphia? We are once again getting ready for training camp, thank God. High atop the 52nd floor in Center City, Philadelphia. This is the Pyramid Club. You are watching and listening to Bell and the Birdmen, along with John Barchard, of course, Vince Quinn, Taylor Kredatus, Tyre Hood is all here. And we have got gifts for everybody. Can't wait for that. They've been sitting in my closet for at least December. I can't wait to tell about the pick swap story because it's a really good one for Vince Quinn. It was really ridiculous with Fanatics and this whole thing. But how are you, buddy? As Kelly Green is supposed to drop today, apparently. We're gonna get a look. See.
No, I'm really good, man. I want to give you something fun to start, though.
Oh,
I had a meatball omelet for breakfast. Taylor's meatball omelet. First off,
you made this or you got this? Okay.
I've now done this twice in a week. First off, my mom's Italian. I'm half Italian. You hear Quinn, you don't realize that, but like I'm more Italian than anything, as my hands would suggest if you're watching on YouTube. So yeah, I'm looking around in the fridge. I don't have anything to eat. I haven't gone to the supermarket. I made meatballs with my mom last weekend because it was like super adorable and I wanted to know how to do it. So I do that.
Very nice.
I got this big thing of meatballs, and I had nothing to eat for breakfast. I was like, you know what? Screw it. It's ground beef. I'm just chopping it up. I'm putting it in an omelet, and like it is what it is. Meatball omelet.
I have no issues. There's a little tomato in there. There's a little ground beef in there. I mean, like, Ty, any arguments?
No,
I'm in. Meatball omelet.
That sounds phenomenally delicious.
I want to see if you guys are in on something because, like, this has been right around in my head. Vince Quinn, you brought this up to me today because we're talking about specifically, like, the Eagles running back room. I feel like we can say we have some friends in that room now. I'm all scared for them because the position itself is going to hell. And then you told me about a Zoom call between like all these major running backs that I want to get into and just like but I do want to start here. Philosophically, you're on board with what the Philadelphia Eagles are doing in their running back room. There's a lot of high-end talent. I think they got extremely lucky with a very dumb Detroit Lions team that wanted to get rid of DeAndre Swift. They picked that up. I feel great about it. There's places where, you know Rashad Penny's going down. There's running backs that we know that are going to take care of business between Gainwell and Boston Scott. And I actually forget the entire room at this point.
There's a lot of guys.
So do you agree with this approach? And then I'd really like you to get into like what all these big time running backs are saying as well. So.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's the only approach, right? It's the only responsible approach. It's the same thing that happens with all these teams that have like the great quarterback, and the problem is, okay, where you're paying your quarterback, I don't know, $50 million or whatever it is. Well, what happens if he gets hurt? Your team sucks because you're solely based on one guy making the whole thing go. And like all the running back stuff is the same kind of problem. You can't pay these guys a ton of money, as great as they are. You know, Derrick Henry, Nick Chubb, Christian McCaffrey, Saquon Barkley, Josh Jacobs, like all these guys, you can't pay them like that because you can't rely on them like that. And that's the fundamental issue. When you look around, I mean, dude, there's a million good running backs in the league.
Yes.
Like, and I just talking about the draft, how many guys, I looked at the draft, I was like, I would take like 25 guys in this draft on the Eagles. I think they're NFL players, at least 25.
Yeah.
So when you've got that many guys that are that good and you do rotate, and it's been a trend that's been building for 20 years, like this was one of those things. It was D'Angelo Williams and Jonathan Stewart, and I always go back to it because everybody was like, oh, my God, they're two guys. They're sharing the ball. How could they possibly like this? D'Angelo Williams was good. He was a good player at that time.
Jonathan Stewart was, too, for what it's worth.
Well, yeah, and he came in and did the same thing. So that's what happened, though. And then it was all these other guys, right? It was Brandon Jacobs and who was the other guy with him? It was like
Ahmad Bradshaw,
right. Who had a really good career. You had Lendale White and Chris Johnson for a little bit. That was a thing with Thunder and Lightning. Like all these different combos.
Sorry, what a career. Anyway,
I know. It was crazy.
To go from Reggie Bush's right-hand man to that. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, and he also lost like 20 pounds in an offseason because he said he stopped drinking tequila. That's one of my favorite stories. So, so all those guys, like all those players, you see how it evolves over time. More and more guys getting in rotations all over the league. And look at the Eagles running back room. It doesn't cost anything. And when you look at the talent they have all across the board, it's incomparable.
Yeah.
I mean, right? Like, for all these guys, when they're healthy, what they can do, how great they are. Rashad Penny is a great running back when he's healthy. DeAndre Swift is a great running back when he's healthy. Kenny Gainwell is really good. He killed it in the playoffs. Boston Scott is really good. Like, it's insane.
Yeah.
So that's what you have to do, and all the numbers tell you to do it. You know, for the Eagles, why was I bent out of shape early, right? Because part of it was I looked at all these guys on the market, like Jamal Williams and David Montgomery, like solid, hard-running guys similar to Penny. And the Eagles were like, well, we're just going to go out and like immediately get Rashad Penny for nothing. He's like $500,000 a year. Who cares? So even if he doesn't play, if he plays 6 games, which maybe he does, you've gotten your money's worth. You know what I mean? For what the production is on the field. So everything tells you to do this. The whole league is starting to move this way, at least for the smart teams more often than not. They are moving this way, and it's what you have to do.
And here's what's crazy is because we're all in agreement that that's what you have to do. You even pointed out, especially when you pay the quarterback. No doubt about it. But, Ty, this is where I keep getting back into this. You can be both right at the same time where, yes, these guys are working their ass off. And, Vince is going to get into it in a second, but the running back position is going away. And all of this stuff of this huge upswing of, now it's such a pass-heavy game that somebody's going to get real smart like Kyle Shanahan, and you're going to see a big thing return back to the ring. It's never coming back, okay? Like, it's never happening. And the theory actually tested itself in the NFC Championship game. You had Christian McCaffrey, who is worth all this stuff, and yes, you need a functional quarterback, whatever, but that's a run-heavy team. That's everything that everybody's talking. It still exists. Nothing. And now they're stuck in a hole and doing all this stuff. So what would you do with the running back position? Out of curiosity, would you keep it as is and just say, hey, we're going to pay guys $500,000 a year from here on out and have a stable of them? Or are you eventually going to return to somebody like a McCaffrey for this team?
Look, at the end of the day, you still need that running back position at the end of the day because I highly doubt you want a wide receiver playing running back and blocking linebackers that are 230 pounds on average, and the average wide receiver is 185. God forbid you have to block a 300-pound lineman. So the running back position, unfortunately, is devalued. I believe I saw something where it said that now running backs on average only make more than the punter and the long snapper.
Oh, my God.
Like, that's just sad.
And that is sad. And this is why I want to get back to Vince Quinn. This Zoom call that you told me about, of like the top of the top, the Austin Ecklers, the Nick Chubbs are all in this Zoom call. What are they telling us about their own positions?
Well, they're telling us that nobody wants to pay them, and they've got to do something now. They have no choice. I mean, all these guys that get franchise tags and none of them to sign any long-term extension is devastating. It is devastating for them. They've been playing their whole careers with the idea that once I hit the market, I'm going to have this moment, and it's never going to come. Multiple franchise tags, all that kind of stuff. You get dragged out into your late 20s, and then nobody wants to pay you anymore. So, it's almost an impossible place to be in, and they have no choice, which is why they're having these conversations now, and it's all led by Austin Eckler, who's been really vocal about it, and should be for a guy that has been through it. And think about his position, right? Like, he was a late draft pick that came out of nowhere, was an absolute phenomenon his rookie year, and has been a great player his whole career. Mm-hmm. He's had problems with the Chargers for 2 years because it was his time. He had done his thing. He had done his job, and they didn't want to reward him for it. So what does he have left? And now all these guys are thinking of as a group, which means all of the best running backs in the league as a group saying we're not going to play.
Yeah, good. I think that's a good thing, yeah? Like there's this whole position that is saying like, hey, you are stripping us out of the game. I do think that's a good thing.
That they're getting stripped out of the game?
No,
they're fighting?
Not that they're fighting.
Okay.
But what are you fighting against here? Like this is like a radio host complaining that radio stations are going away. Yeah, I know. You're a good host. Yes, you deserve way more than the trickles of money that are coming in.
Balls,
but learn how to throw a football maybe. Or learn how to catch, to me, that position has to, and not like, oh, you got to find something other than right. You have got to change what that position is called. It is no longer running back. It has to be a rotation of things. And I'm going to keep beating this into the ground. That should be a quarterback next to a different quarterback at least 20% of the time. Because then I think when you're going against personnel packages and then 30% of the time it's a quarterback, 30% of the time it's a wide receiver, 30% of the time it's a running back or whatever hybrid. If you can do all those three things kinda, that's an interesting position to me. Running back needs to cease to exist. I'm in agreement there. And I'm also in agreement that these guys should be fighting for their position. But that shit doesn't work anymore. Why does no one want to change it?
John,
is it just because of the classicness of the sport? That position needs to change.
Yeah, I can see right now we're going to be arguing during the course of this session. And it's all good.
How? What is more? Would you tell me which running back is more effective than any quarterback and wide receiver duo?
I'm not saying they're going to be more valuable, but what I am saying is that they are an important role within the entire intricacy of an offense. You're talking about a guy who totes the ball and takes more abuse probably, or just as much abuse than your average lineman. Then you're talking about running into those linemen constantly, whether that be blocking or carrying the ball. Not only that, but now you're asking these guys to be pass catchers as well as blockers in the pass game.
Oh, I'm sorry. Does fullback exist?
No.
Oh, great, because that's exactly what you're describing. A fullback is actually a lineman, and that shit got out of the game.
But the
so
difference
we're just
is,
one rung down, and the only difference is this guy has a little more agility to run behind a great offensive line, and running backs do not change the game. Like, I've tried to fight this a million times. It's the offensive line first, and it's everybody else behind that when it comes to the running game. And your quarterback is a primary runner now. Most quarterbacks are going to be primary runners moving forward. Most of them.
But they shouldn't be long-term. They shouldn't be long-term.
But they're going to be, at least for do you want Lamar Jackson to stop running?
I don't want him running 20 times a game.
There you go. Yes.
It's going to happen anyway. It is going to happen anyway, designed or not. It is going to happen anyway.
Or it won't, because you won't be able to play anymore. Like, that kind of stuff. Look, you need the ability to run, because part of it is the read option, having the reliability of the threat, and keeping the defense honest and all that kind of stuff. You need a guy that can run. I mean, there's a value in a Jordan Howard in his prime, right?
Oh,
a guy
no,
that can.
there isn't.
Yes, there is.
In rotation.
But you're trying to challenge this on a yes, that is a need, and I'm not saying it isn't, but if you're trying to tell me that is needed long-term to win football games, you're crazy. It's a thing that you need, just like you said, it is a punter or it is a kicker position now. And you either are on board with that or you are completely delusional about what that position is right now.
Well, yeah.
And what the NFL actually values it at. So, like, you're telling me it's so valuable to need a kicker or a punter, essentially.
Well, talk about a punter, yeah. Let's talk about Siposs in the
have
Super Bowl.
Have you seen Siposs last year?
Yeah.
I mean, and how many games did it lose?
Super Bowl?
They went to the I mean, if you want to pin it on that, so be it.
Yeah. But like, look, you need all this stuff, because what is the league about, right? It's ways to win. It's ways to generate yards. Having guys like that give you those options. And that's why the Eagles and their whole backfield makes all the sense in the world. You need a power runner for a game? Great. That other team is soft in the middle. You can pound, no problem. There's Rashad
The
Penny.
Eagles have literally never done that.
What?
In any offense,
whoa.
the Eagles have literally never pounded the football for anybody since they have started. Name one game where they let the running game take over last year.
That was their whole season in 2021 that turned the league around.
Because Jalen Hurts couldn't throw, and then when he could throw and he got his best friend A.J. Brown, how many games did the running game actually use to be taken over a game?
And they still
Zero.
Zero. You can't. I'm not going to tell you game off hanks. It's been too long to get into the specifics. But like, you can't tell me that a team that ran for 1,800 yards with just the running backs alone, that didn't matter in the games.
And John, they still capitalized off of the fact that they could run because of their balanced offense at the last year that we just saw. It was because of
24% of Miles Sanders was not needed last year, yet they ran him out there.
John.
Just because of the contract. What did he do? What did Miles Sanders do to improve this team last year?
He didn't lose yards. And
Great.
he kept the defense honest. So look, I'm not saying he's worth $12 million a year. I mean, they paid him $5 million a year. He's not worth that in Carolina. That was a mistake. But like, thinking about this the position as a whole, because now we're in two different arguments, right? One is, okay, the top level guys, what are those guys worth? And that's an interesting one. And the other side is, okay, what is the value of the running back position overall? And like, generally, again, the Eagles have it right, because they're like, all of these guys on their own aren't worth a ton. The guy that's probably worth the most on his own is Swift. But given his stuff with Detroit, here he is. He's not worth much right now. He's on a second-round pick contract or first-round pick contract, whatever. He's not making a lot of money. Yeah. So he's not making much. But together, all of those guys are great, because you can attack teams in different ways. And if one guy gets hurt, you can lean into the other guy, and you've got options and all that stuff. So they've done it this right way. On the high level, though, like, the fascinating thing to me is, okay, because I've been Mr. Anti-running back for like 5 years now. I've been yelling at we've argued about this many times over the years. But looking at it now, it's like, okay, does it hit a point when the rest of these guys in the league, sure, like, their on-field value, receivers, corners, edge rushers, like, they're worth a lot of money. I totally get it. But for a running back, for the amount of tickets that you sell, the amount of draw that you are, conversation, like there's
We're
marketing.
talking about tickets and draw and marketing now?
Isn't that part of the value of a player? I'm just saying, like, there's something to be said for that, especially, and here's the thing, too. I think elite running backs, they improve the floor of bad teams. They can get you a win or two as a bad team. If you're a great team, they're not going to be the guy that takes you over the hump because you need too many other things, and ultimately it is about being able to pass first. So, like, I don't know. I mean, is there going to be more guys that are running back or you're getting running backs, you move them out into the slot more, and you're getting receivers and you're putting them back there more, and once in a while it is a quarterback? Like, yeah, maybe it is. But I don't trust a quarterback in pass protection. You know what I mean? So,
well,
like,
the quarterback's not pass protecting when two of them are out there.
Yeah, but that limits.
You're moving. It's
so
movement.
so like you're gonna have to. So it defines your stuff. Like, I don't know. I think there's room for all of that stuff, and it is a bigger thing, and I think it's going to continue to evolve here. But long story, like, is a running back ever going to be worth $12 million again? No.
It's not even. I don't even. Unless you are such in a tier of like McCaffrey, Chubb in that corner. I don't know if you.
But those guys aren't even getting it,
right? Because you can't keep up 8 yards a clip every single year. You can't. It's just, it's impossible. That's why, like where you're at with, there are more things that would help out Jalen Hurts than DeAndre Swift if they were in the backfield, and I don't think coaches or anybody is willing to just downright admit that, probably for a lot of the times, a lot of things that you said. The marketing aspect, the players union would be upset. But if none of that was around and you were to start a football team today, I don't think running back would be an ever-changing position.
No, yeah. I mean, it'd be one of those, it'd be rotating a lot. I mean, honestly, now it's moving back to like 1950s football. And like, I'm not even exaggerating. I'm not making a joke out of it as much as I can be sarcastic. Like, you go back in the day, man, there's all these guys are flankers, and they're moving around all over the place. You have 5 guys that are throwing passes. Like, it was a weird and wild time for the league because they were still figuring out passing and how it worked. So now that's kind of what it is. You're seeing like your Deebo Samuels, your Cordero Pattersons that move from wide receiver to running back. That changes things up. Curtis Samuel's done some of that stuff, especially when he was in Carolina. Like, you're seeing those guys now. Jahmyr Gibbs supposedly is going to be that kind of guy in Detroit going the other way. So, like, I totally get it. When you got guys that have that skill set and can do it, it's great. But on some level, you got to build an offense. There's only so much you can do with the talent that you're given, and occasionally you just got a guy that can run straight and knock people over and fall forward. And that's all his value is.
Inside the 20, absolutely. And that's the only place, again, much like a field goal kicker, that they should be allowed into the building. Everything else is a pass that's a run, or a run that looks like a pass, or however you want to describe it at that point.
So at this point, then, I guess what we're really saying is, for the most part, running back positions are, you're just a specialist.
Yes. And their contracts state as such. Ty, no? You don't agree with that?
I'm not going to call them specialists because the running back position, I mean, you do so much. I mean, it's such an integral part of certain offenses. Like I said before, running backs can be pass blockers. In the Eagles' offense, you're not getting on the field unless you know how to read defenses and pass block, period. They don't care how good of a runner you are. They're worried about protecting the franchise quarterback, and in this case, that's Jalen Hurts. So while I think the running back position will never go away, I do think it is devalued. Something needs to be done. I don't know what, but something needs to be done in financial-wise to kind of fill in the gap, per se, in terms of finances for these guys.
Well, that's an important point, and that's one of the things that all these guys like Austin and Eckler and all are talking about now is like, all right, Isaiah Pacheco comes in, 7th-round pick, total nobody, and what does he do? He's the starting running back of a Super Bowl winning team. Like, okay, great. Now, with all these franchise tags and other stuff, the way it goes, I mean, he might not get paid for another, like, 4 years. So he's going to do all these carries. He's going to put in this time. He's going to be in this great window, be a valuable part of that, not get paid a damn thing for it. And then by the time it all comes around for him to get paid, nobody's going to want to pay him because, tread on the tires and all that kind of stuff. Like, that's just where it all goes. So if anything, they're at the very least, if they can't help themselves, they're going to try to fight this cycle. And like Mike Florio's pushing it like crazy. How can we get a union that's separate for the running backs and get them different contracts and let them hit the market earlier? Because fundamentally, well, the league is going to hate that.
I don't know about this league. I really sometimes question how it's still propped up. Like, you're talking about trying to fight the NFLPA, which is already fucked up. There are so many internal politics in there. Like, and if you're reading, which we'll definitely get to at some point either this week or next week, between like Dan Snyder, there's clearly collusion from the NFL to the NFLPA side. Half of that room wants it to go this way, the other half wants it to go that way. It's a good idea. Good luck is what I'm saying. Like,
yeah.
You know, if you want to do that, fair enough. But man, regardless of whether you think the position needs to be around or there needs to be a different union, I can tell you this: guaranteed 100% of the time. Every time you go to liquiddeath.com/bell, there will be some cool, crazy merchandise that you're not expecting at any time. Perhaps, there's Martha Stewart's hand on a candle, or Travis Barker's homemade enema, which I don't believe is available anymore. But stuff like that pops up all the time. What did they make a basketball out of somebody's head at one point?
Yeah.
All this to say, John, I don't even know what Liquid Death is, and you're telling me all these weird things. It's the best water, seltzer, and iced tea in a can. They don't stop making beverages. I can't even remember all of them. You've probably seen them in, all of your favorite retailers, 7-Eleven, all that stuff. Make sure this summer, which is brutally hot, that you have at least tasted a sample of some of that stuff. It's low in calories. All the flavored stuff is on purpose, so we don't get fat like me.
Yeah.
God, I am still working off last year's barbecue stuff.
I am too.
I'm fucking you think, I went to the pool the other day and I go, God almighty. But the good thing is, I did bring Liquid Death to the pool. Everybody loved it, especially the severed lime. It goes great in tequila. It goes great in bourbon. And it goes great if you don't drink alcohol. So, liquiddeath.com/bell. And we have been so busy with all of this stuff that we have had presents forever, hanging around since December. It's been on top of my fridge since then. So,
yeah.
We are officially celebrating the holidays today, thank goodness.
Christmas in July.
And we had gotten gifts at that time. So, quick story about yours. I'll just start there because I was dead set, and it was already, like you were getting a Robert Quinn jersey. There was no doubt about it. But after several attempts with a company that now I think doesn't care about selling jerseys and more cares about gambling, lost it 4 times, 2 redeliveries, and I just said, forget it, guys. I'm out of here. So, with that being said, I would like to present what I think is great for the house, great for Dana, and I hope y'all are still watching or still remembering, because you need your own scotch set when you are watching. What is
share the camera?
Did I messed it up? I'm sorry. See, it's a wonderful 11-ounce glasses with a full liter decanter. I fucked up the description, but Mad Men was I was trying to shoot out of my mouth.
Yeah,
I thought,
which I binged.
don't display the doers. Just dump it in here and you look fancy. So
yeah,
there you go. Woo!
All right. Well, thank you. That is awesome. Okay. So for me, I can't bring your gift here because I might get in trouble and I'm not legally licensed to carry it.
Oh, is that right?
But a certain cartridge of a certain capacity will be coming your way, my friend.
Those in the know are in the know.
Nintendo cartridge.
So I playing the hits. So yeah, I'll be getting you that very soon.
I'm glad that didn't show up. Taylor Kredatus, where do you want to start, my friend?
Let's go with yours first.
Right here?
Yes.
It's light.
I'm still standing by the way that I have the best present out of all of them for Vince.
Okay. I think it's true. Oh, a Costco box would have been plenty, Taylor. So whatever's in here is going to be a bonus. But and he's the only one that wrapped, by the way. So
yeah, I fundamentally
wrapped very poorly. So.
I try to not wrap as much as I can.
Yeah.
Whether it's just like putting it in a bag with the tissue paper because that's easy. Like I hate wrapping presents.
Oh man,
that wrap job is still better than mine.
Yeah,
I knew it. Yes. Oh my God. Yo. All right. Taylor wins. He has found probably a very rare Mr. Bungle California hat. And if you don't know who Mr. Bungle is, then you don't know Mike Patton, and you are no longer my friend. But
well, it was nice knowing you.
Vince, they have a song called "It's Not Funny, My Ass Is on Fire." So I think you should go check them out.
Been there.
And they hate the Red Hot Chili Peppers, which makes me only love them even more. Taylor Kredatus, you are the man. I'm going to wear this all the time and try not to get sweaty.
Wow.
I will sling it. Should I show the camera first? And then I know this is weird because we never showed Taylor on camera. So if you know Taylor at all, I'm sticking with the beverage department on here. So he never has a coffee hot. I don't know if he has one of these in his fridge or not, but we're going to get an infusion craft that, stays nice. And you don't even have to brew it or anything. You just stick it in there and it's ready to go.
Appreciate it.
Okay, so for me, one of the things that I noticed is, we've been doing the show now for 2 years.
Yes.
Which is amazing, by the way. We're not even officially at 2 years yet, which feels like we've done a million things. It's crazy it's not even 2 years. But anyway, what I've noticed over that time is Taylor has a lack of Eagles gear that needed to be solved. And what better way than a nice Derek Barnett t-shirt for Taylor Kredatus. So there you go.
Where?
Oh, dude, yeah. I found this on, was it TeePublic or something? I had to go deep in the vault to find a custom, heavily designed Derek Barnett shirt.
How the hell did you find that?
It was a lot of digging, but we did it. I mean, look, I wear a Travis Fulgham jersey. I can make it happen.
Jeez.
So that's one.
Amazing.
And then, one other thing. So this is a fun story. I want to say shout out first to Herschel. Herschel, I always do a hit with Steve Trevelise all the time.
Yeah.
He always listens to that segment and tweets me and all these things. He's been a big supporter of us and the show. Herschel went once and he bought hoodies of Bell and the Birdmen.
Oh, no kidding.
Now, here's the thing. This is a bootleg. Somebody has bootlegged our stuff. There is a website that just is like a monger of let me just get these things and we'll just print. So it stole our logo and it prints these hoodies. So the guy had sent me a receipt. He's like, hey, I got all these hoodies. Check it out. And I was like, oh, those are bootlegs. Don't do that. So I took care of him. Herschel has legitimate gear. But as somebody's just getting started with the show, what better way? Hey! So there you go. You start with a little gear. It's
Much
a little
appreciated.
something. Yeah, absolutely. So Merry Christmas in July to you. And then I guess that just leaves my present.
The best present.
This tea before I open this up?
This is, all right, for show purposes, this is by far the best one.
And he's been hyping this up for a while, so
Yeah.
I'm excited to see
I've
what
got
you
a
got
feeling
here.
I know where this is going to go
All
as
right,
he
so this is
unwraps it.
We've got a nice long box here from USPS.
Oh, yes.
Where's it going, John?
Is this box from eBay? I think that's
Yes.
okay. Yeah, I
Okay.
think I know where this is going.
Now there's a fragile sticker on it,
But I don't know exactly where it's going. Yeah.
and I have no idea.
Take a guess.
This is going to be, I think whatever comes out of this box, we're probably going to have to display it on the show all the time.
Well,
Is my guess.
That's a good guess.
Yeah.
now it's too recent, so it's not a hobby horse, which is my new favorite
Ooh,
thing.
man. Hobby horse would have been a good one.
Let's see here.
Ladies
so there's
and
a
gentlemen.
giant bag in this box. We've got some wrapping here.
Oh, it is not where I thought we were going because I just took a
Is this
peek at the inside
is
of the
this a
bag.
piece of wrapping? Okay, that's just padding. Here we go. We've got a box.
Oh,
it's a Marlon Mack bobblehead. Yes. Hold on.
I'll hold it up to the camera as Vince Quinn is hugging Taylor Kredatus. Look at that. This is not just a Marlon Mack bobblehead. This is his college days of 2014 to 2016. The Bulls, where did he? Oh, USF?
USF.
He's a
Campus
USF.
Yeah.
Marlon Mack officially
course.
enshrined into the Bell and the Birdmen Hall of Fame.
Oh my God, that is so goddamn funny.
We'd like some words on the first recipient, actually.
Yeah, I mean, look, he should have been an Eagle. We all know it. It's nice to get him in the nice thing that is almost midnight green, so I'll take it for what it's worth. And this is going, I mean, right next to the engagement photos and all the other near and dear things to my heart.
I still can't believe they made that.
Neither do I, but I am so glad you found it.
I mean, look,
You win. That is the best gift of
the
the
other
show.
Marlon Mackalites, we all understand, and he totally deserves a bobblehead, so I can't believe this. This is so good.
My thing is, did he get paid for that bobblehead? That's my question.
No, he didn't. I'll Venmo him $5. Call me, Marlon. So Holy crap. Okay.
That's amazing. Okay, so what I think Taylor Kredatus has started is the official yearly should have been an Eagle Hall of Fame, right? and Marlin is the first one.
And then next year we'll induct Russell Wilson for both ends of the career.
We have Zach Charbonnet.
Zach Charbonnet
Like
absolutely should probably be around. I mean, we could go way back. We can go Anquan Bolden. I would happily have an Anquan Bolden bobblehead in here. But yeah, just fantastic stuff all around, everybody. Thank you so much.
Earl Thomas.
Ooh, yeah. Actually, not anymore.
I think people have
BG wins.
but that was a fun one. Yeah, that was a fun one. But real quick, too, before we wrap this up. So I do have a gift for people out there listening right now. And so here's what I want you to do. Text line 215-509-5833. That is the number, 215-509-5833.
You're looking at it right here
And
if you're on YouTube.
if you want to win the banner that we used for all of our shows last year, we were out on the road. I designed this whole banner everywhere we ever set up, all the places we traveled to. If you would like that banner from us to you, it is literally one of a kind. Text Merry Christmas to 215-509-5833, and we will have a drawing, and we will announce a winner next week.
First one that does it, it's yours. And then you got to get ready for August, because August is our birthday month. We've got a lot of stuff planned, including giving away a trip to Los Angeles, California with us in October. And make sure you're clicking the link down below for that as well. Vince, Ty, Taylor, any last thoughts before we get out of here?
Love you, Marlon. Love you, T.
I'm going to be arguing with you all season. I can see this right now.
Yes, I can feel that too. Taylor, anything else before we get out of here?
I'm just glad I got Marlon Mack out of my apartment.
This is Bell and the Birdmen. I'm going to go kiss John Hamm. Okay, see you later.